Hi, my name's Carolyn V. Watson. I'm a Brisbane-based artist and I'll be exhibiting at Bragg. What is All Glory is Fleeting is about? It essentially began as an idea of examining mortality and the idea of memorial, using found objects and given objects. Over the period of time it took to develop this work, over about 12 months, new ideas started to filter into the body of work, and it started to deal more with this idea of looking forward, of renewal, of adaptation, of reconciling myself as a human being with my own past and allowing myself to move forward. The title, All Glory is Fleeting, brackets memory in hand, came about just by accident. It was overhearing a podcast about Memento Mori and on ABC, and it regaled the idea of a narrative whereby a triumphant Roman general returns to adoring crowds, and upon his return, basically a slave is given the role of leaning in and whispering into that general's ear, all glory is fleeting, all glory is fleeting, all glory is fleeting. So more or less the idea that whatever we do, whatever we achieve, it exists only for a very brief period of time, and the idea and senses of mortality is overriding within the work itself. The materials that you'll find throughout the exhibition are many and varied, and I happily encourage you to make closer inspection on all of the works, from the drawings to the sculptures. The closer that you look, the more that will be revealed. I'll use a lot of traditional materials in regards to my drawings, so use of willow charcoal, inks, watercolour, pastel primer, all of those that create a almost fragile sense on the surface. Within the sculptures there will be the implementation of bone, of antler, use of leather, the idea of doilies. The way that I'll use doilies is more or less to be reconfigured and treated like a skin. The artwork Trophy Ghost as probably one of the most ambitious pieces that I've even attempted to do. So it has been something that has ruminated in the back of my head for a number of years, the idea of using these large taxidermy forms and creating a new story with them, with all of these different pieces joined together. The idea of Trophy Ghost became this being able to bring different histories, different forms, different pieces together and trying to create these coherent mythological forms. They do have a ghost-like appearance in regards to the choices of colour and the way that they peer out from the wall. All they wish to do is engage. They wish to engage and impart some level of history about who they are, what they've done, or if anything to offer advice in a silent form. They become these very engaging forms. All of these particular pieces that create these objects, there's a repetition of pieces that are used. So the rabbit pelt or the lamb pelt is repeated, and not only between the Trophy Ghost but between Homebody, which is another sculpture in the exhibition. There's almost a sense of family about them. There's a sense of lineage between all of these pieces. So the work, Born of Fear and Beauty, brackets Colony, was once again another one of those highly ambitious pieces. It was more or less the foundation work for the entire exhibition. It established not only the idea of the palette, or the colour palette, that would reverberate throughout the exhibition, this idea of muted tones and these kind of flesh-like forms, but it also was a piece that took a great deal of time to evolve. Each piece of bone, which there's 8 in its entirety, was individually made, individually constructed, and it was about a 7-month process to develop the entire work. I think the way that it's presented is almost as this medicinal specimen. It's something that under examination. It's this piece that has provided the foundation for all of the works that are scattered throughout the exhibition in itself. So I think it's quite open as to what it is. And I think the idea that is it a parasitic relationship, is it a symbiotic relationship between these plates and skin-like forms that cover the bone, or is it just an entire piece in itself? I think the unknown and the in-betweenness is something that I constantly refer back to within my practice. It's something that, it's the things that we can't say, and that's why I make what I make. What I hope people experience out of this exhibition, hopefully not too much shock and horror, but if anything that they embrace what's presented and they feel like they're included within this exhibition. I make my process completely open, and basically I hope that there's enough use of materials or suggestions of form that elicits certain memories to each person that comes through, and that they feel comfortable and confident enough to respond to the work and to engage with each of the pieces.